Hi everybody, I'm Amanda the G, and this is Drunk Drunk Stories. Drunk Drunk Stories is where I have myself a little beverage and tell you about a time that I had too much of a little beverage and also remind you to drink responsibly, okay? For this story, we are going back to grad school, and if I didn't mention it before, grad school steals your soul. Surprising no one, I have a bit of a difficulty making friends, so I didn't really go to a lot of parties because I didn't really get invited to a lot of parties, but there were a couple that happened in grad school with my entire class. There was like 30 of us maybe, 25, something like that, 23. I think it might have been 23. Don't quote me on that. Something in the 20 to 30 range. So there wasn't like a lot of people. So we did have a couple of parties that were all together, and by a couple I mean like literally I think 2. There may have been more than 2, but I was only invited to 2 of them. So this is from the first one of those parties. I lived on a slightly different side of town than this party was, and I didn't have a car at that point, so don't worry about it. I didn't drive. I literally walked every single place. I had a bus pass, I just didn't take the bus there. I literally walked there because I figured if I walk there, I'll remember how to walk back. I had a feeling when I went there that I was probably gonna leave after the buses stopped running, and also if I remember right, the bus there was like ridiculous. I would have had to take 2 buses and go like way out of the way when I could just like walk over a hill and basically be there. I went to school for occupational therapy, so this was the OT students getting together, which was a whole bunch of girls and 2 guys. So the girls throwing the party also invited the like 7 guys that are in PT and then pissed off all the girls who were in PT, but it was like there's only so many people you can invite to a backyard party. It started in a backyard. It was a BYOB type of party. Everybody went in the backyard. We were all hanging out, talking, drinking, and then they started playing drinking games because we were still basically like fresh out of college. So there was Flip Cup, which just basically became, I can't play that game. I literally cannot play Flip Cup. To save my damn life, I can't flip cups. It was not the game that I played in college. I never played until I got to grad school, and then people were mad at me for not being good at it. But let me tell you, if you wanted to play beer pong, I am undefeated in beer pong. I can play that game like no other. I even played wine pong, which is a bad idea. Don't suggest that. That's a different story. But I am good at that game. I am so good at that game. I go to Dave & Buster's, they have a version of that game, and I hit every single one in the minimum number of shots, and I did that in front of old coworkers, and they were like, wait, what? Like, yeah, I'm undefeated in beer pong. Girl knows how to throw a ping pong ball into a cup, but I cannot take that cup and flip it over. Sorry. So there were some people in the program who were a little bit older, so as it got dark, like, they kind of pieced out and went home. And a lot of people kind of left, and then it was like, okay, it's dark, it's kind of cold out, so let's go inside. And at that point, Amanda should have taken her drunk ass home because I was kind of drunk, but not really all that drunk, and I could have made it and it would have been fine. But no, I was out and I was partying and I was doing something other than studying or working, so I was gonna stay my ass out, and I went inside and we went upstairs, and for some reason then we played quarters. That was the one and only time I ever played quarters, and I do not need to ever play it again, and I don't even remember fully playing it. It was just, you throw the quarter, right? We played it with like an ice cube tray. I remember that. There was an ice cube tray and a measuring cup. So that was the level of partying of that night. Everybody kind of dispersed out and left. My classmates in OT had either already left at that point, lived in that place, or lived on that side of town, so they were all walking themselves. And then it's just drunk Amanda, who's supposedly gonna be left on her own devices to walk back to the other side of town. But it turns out that some of the PT guys lived over by my apartment. They actually lived like 3 or 4 blocks away. So we just figured, let's just all walk together because then it's safer for everybody. Okay, so we're walking home, and I had walked there one way, and I walked there the direct way because I'm kind of lazy and I ain't walking like twice the distance if I don't need to. I will trek it up the hill. There was this hill and it was like probably a good 30-degree incline at least, that I would just trek my ass up and down to get between the two places. That would take me to where I nannied, that would take me to work, and I would just trek up and down it. And honestly, in the winter, it was terrifying. There were days that I was like, I should just sit on my butt and slide down this because it is steep as shit. But I did it. So I just figured I would just walk back the quick, direct, steep way because I don't want to walk extra distance. But I was with a group of guys who was like, no, we're gonna take this way. We dropped off a few people along the way. We get to the last apartment that's like two or three guys, I think, that live there. And I didn't know where I was at that point, so I just asked them how to get to my street, and they're like, just keep walking that way and you'll run right into it, which I did. It wasn't that far. But literally, none of those damn boys were gonna walk me to my fucking apartment at like 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, honestly, I can take care of myself. I could take care of myself at that time, and I was fine with it, but in the back of my head, I was still kind of pissed off because honestly, not even like a girl by myself, even though that is seen more as a target, and I've dealt with situations like that, but there were like 2 to 3 of them. There is safety in numbers, people. There was like 2 to 3 of them, and there was no reason they couldn't have walked an extra few blocks to drop me off first and then go back when we had already gone out of our way by a few blocks to drop a different guy off at his apartment. So basically, screw them. Stay fresh, cheese bags. Honestly, right now, I don't even know if I still have lipstick on my face. Look at how much is on this.